This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. We're going to have the sit-down edition. Why the Errol the Truth Spence versus Shawn Constipated Porter fight is not happening. I said this, I think it was about 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, why this fight wasn't going to happen. I said that Shawn Porter, once the Manny Pacquiao and the Keith Thurman fight got announced, he was going to find a way to price himself out of the fight. He was going to find a way to financially duck himself out of the fight. I see a lot of other people running with the same narrative. It's all good. But remember, I was the first one to say that nonsense. Because we all knew that Shawn Porter didn't want that work. Kenny Porter, they don't want that work, man. They know that Errol Spence is going to beat Shawn Porter. It's tactical aggression versus ineffective aggression. Let me say that again. Tactical aggression versus ineffective aggression. Let's see. Doesn't take Albert Einstein to figure out which version of aggression is going to win. This is probably would have been one of the easier fights for Errol the Truth Spence in a very long time. This is not going to be an arduous fight because Shawn Porter doesn't know how to box effectively. He's constipated in his style, hence the name Shawn Constipated Porter, folks. Everything the dude does in the ring is constipated, minus the smothering aspect. That's the only thing he does good in the ring. He clearly got outboxed by Yordenis Ugas. Nobody wants to hear that. There should have been a rematch. There should have been a run it back type of situation. But that's neither here nor there. If he couldn't beat that guy and he couldn't beat him emphatically, then how's a second-tier welterweight like that going to have a chance against Errol Spence? This ain't going to be Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua all over again. I had to have that moment of silence because I was just like, people are caught up into these upsets. They think that somebody like Errol Spence is going to allow himself to be upsetted. He's not going to be as undisciplined as Anthony Joshua. He's not going to take his ass to Miami and go train prior to the fight and look at somebody that's a tub of lard and say, oh, I'm not going to take this dude serious. He's not going to do that. He knows the opponent that he would be potentially facing. But the Porters are trying to price themselves out of the fight, man. That's exactly what they're doing. Because now they can come back and legitimize their ducking. They could say, look, we couldn't make the fight happen because we just couldn't make the fight happen. And everyone could get on with their business. But here's the thing. The one thing that Andy Ruiz and the Anthony Joshua fight taught us is, let's get these fights going, man. If Shawn Porter don't want that work, why don't we fight Terrence Bud Crawford, man? Let's get it on and get it over with. Let's make it happen. Because that's the fights the fans want to see, man. I know Errol Spence ain't ducking Terrence Crawford. There's that false narrative going around. Just like that bullshit narrative when everybody was saying AJ Devo was the superior fighter and Deontay, till this day, the Bronze Bomber was ducking his ass. Which now we know how stupid that shit sounds. It's the same bullshit narrative that people are running right now when they're saying Errol Spence is ducking Terrence Crawford. It's bullshit. Then why would Bob Arum have negotiations with Al Heyman? You dodo heads. You brain full of mush and you brainwash followers. Why is Bob Arum not telling the world what was discussed between him and Al Heyman in regards to who? Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. Doesn't Bob Arum represent Terrence Bud Crawford? Dodo heads. So we know that fight is something that's being negotiated under the table, behind the scenes. Shawn Porter flat out duck Errol Spence. There's just no two ways around that. He's ducking him. He don't want that work. He wants the winner of Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. That's the route that he wanted to take. Y'all gotta understand, before Errol Spence came on the scene, there was this triangle that these second-tier welterweights were doing between Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Shawn Porter. They just wanted to fight each other. You know what they were trying to do? They're trying to freeze Errol Spence out. But now that Errol Spence has become the cash cow, he's become the man of the welterweight division, it's kind of a glaring, obvious thing if you don't fight him. Boy, have the tables turned. But now, we got to wait and see how this shit unravels with Shawn Porter, because if it doesn't, if I'm Spence, fuck him, man. I'm looking at Terrence Bud Crawford at this point. So let's see. Let's give it a few more weeks. Let's see how the negotiations take place, because, again, shit is not over until it's over. So let's see how the negotiations unravel. But these difficulties that are happening, I foresaw this coming to take place, because I'm a boxing prophet and a boxing visionary. 7 steps ahead of you motherfuckers, man. I'm always seeing shit for what it is. I knew that Shawn Porter was going to duck his ass. It was just obvious. It was so fucking obvious. Who wants to fight Errol Spence? Who wants to get a chunk out of their boxing career fighting that dude? Or who damn near wants to retire? Or who does not want to be the same fighter after fighting a guy like that? Because anyone who knows boxing knows that when you fight a guy like that, you're not going to be the same, man. Shawn Porter knows that. Shawn Porter was right there with Errol Spence during those Olympic days, man. When Kenny Porter was the trainer. He saw Errol Spence up close and personal. He sparred with him. He knows what time it is, man. He knows how that boy gets down. Again, let me make it clear, because I need to let this marinate in your brain cells. Tactical aggression versus ineffective aggression. It's not rocket science, folks. We already know who's going to win that battle. That's a KO stoppage waiting and happening, because Errol Spence is going to break Shawn Porter's ass down through an accumulation of punishment. Because while Shawn Porter is being constipated and being ineffective and doing all this smothering nonsense, Errol Spence is going to be placing his punches effectively. And the damage is going to be sinking in each and every single round. And now you're seeing Shawn Porter getting the chunk taken out of him each and every single round. Porter knew this. This is why you see him chilling, making videos on Fight Hype. He's not amped to fight no Errol Spence. That was bullshit when he said he wanted to unify. He's the weakest champion, the weakest WBC champion we've ever had at the welterweight division. And anybody that tells you otherwise don't know shit about boxing. Him and that green sexy belt, they don't belong together, man. He actually brings down the value of the WBC belt. That's how bad it is. Stalling, because you know damn well he's holding Errol Spence's belt. This should have been Errol Spence's unification belt. But the Porters, they're going to find their way. They're going to find themselves a way to financially duck Errol Spence. Remember, I said that shit first. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.